Hey everybody, I'm Russo, and I do a little work here and there. You are watching Raconteur Weekly, and this week a project is finally reaching some semblance of completion. That is, no, it's not quite complete, but it is complete enough. Here is a working prototype. So you read the title, you know what we're talking about here. That is outdoors tiles. Outdoors tiles. This is something that I don't think has really been touched on. There are plenty of people that make tiles, modular tiles in particular. You know, maybe I'm missing something. I haven't seen any that do outdoor tiles, or anything that I would consider outdoor tiles, even like a forest or something like that. And yeah, I've been working through those sewers, but you know, those are someone else's design. And I do know that copyright is a concern on YouTube, and I realize it's a lot of ands in one sentence that most of the designs that I'm using are totally fine. I'm giving credit and all of this stuff. I'm not trying to sell any of these things. But yeah, I do always like to figure out my own designs. And again, this is that. I'll bring in one of the sewer tiles, a sewer tile that's the same size. This is what you would consider a 1x1 tile. It's an 1.25 inches, I believe, on each side. The sewer tile has an inset top, and what will be the outdoor tile does not. And I will say, every outdoor tile will not need to be this way. This is just a tile for, what would you call it? A difference in terrain. So for instance, there are light areas and dark areas here, and whichever one you want, you might say the dark area is grass and the light area is dirt. And yes, you could have full tiles of grass and full tiles of dirt, and you probably will. Maybe at this size, maybe at larger sizes. But this is mostly to clear up a concern that I've had for a long time, not just with these sorts of tiles, but, you know, back in the day I used to do a lot of RPG making with various RPG makers. And people would steal these tiles from games like Zelda or Suikoden or, you know, just whatever. They would steal the tiles, and then you would use the tiles in whatever crappy game you were making. And if we go to that Super Nintendo standard, especially to The Legend of Zelda, one of these full tiles would be, what, 16 by 16 in terms of pixels, but in Zelda especially, the collision maps are done on this 8 by 8 grid, and yeah, I could make one of these that has a 4 by 4 grid on it. Right now that's not really a concern to me, so I'm getting a little sidetracked. I'll just show you how this works. Right now there are 2 quarter circles, but if I pop out 3 of these pieces, spin them around and put them back in, I've got a weird teardrop sort of shape. Yeah, I mean, this is just 4 out of a possible, well, I don't know, an infinite possibility of different tiles you could have. But I'm limiting myself. I've got a little square of paper with arrows on it, so the 8 directions you can expect to move in most Super Nintendo games. And like I've said, I've got light areas and dark areas, so you just have to make a line, come from one of these arrows and go to another one of these arrows. And if I do that and I don't have multiple dark areas on a single square, then I figure there might be, I don't know, 10 to 20 different tiles that I will have to make. Some of those will get used more than other ones, but again, it's just for the edges of the paths, or if you have a significantly narrow path. This could be the whole path. And yeah, they probably won't be pencil when they're done. I'm considering just flocking these. I think it would look really nice. Of course, these 4 I'm not going to flock. These 4 and the base are going to get molded and turned into something nice. So let's talk about construction. I want to say this whole thing is about 44 layers of cardstock, including those little plugs at the top. This is a group of the paper pieces that I used, just for the plugs, that is. And you can see the bottom 2 have squares cut out in the middle. Basically, this is a 1/8 inch frame, to which I add a section cut from this 3/8 inch pin tube. And you should be able to find something that works for you. This worked for me. I was trying squares, but that was too much surface area, and it was very difficult to get them out. This only touches in 4 places, but it's a tight fit. So I'll bring out another one of those sewer pieces so you can see that these do interface. It looks a little wonky, and again, that's because the sewer tiles, or at least the tops of the sewer tiles, are indented ever so slightly because they are supposed to be tiles again. But you get the 1x2x1, and you can slide this right in the corner, so that works all right. And brings up another point, that this type of customizable tile does not need to be relegated to outdoor areas. I guess that is to say, it's a tile, and it has 4 tiles on it, so why not tiles? Or, I guess, stuff that is on tiles. That's always a possibility. You could have torn rugs, and maybe you want a very interesting torn rug. You want it to be burnt in strange spots, and to be a completely different torn rug every time the player characters see it. Well, here is one way to do that. Yeah, it'll have lines in the middle, but I think it's pretty nice regardless. So yeah, I'm going to keep working on this. I got to make some molds. I also need to make a 2x2 frame to stick these things in. And the possibilities do not end with flat terrain, because I can very easily make stairs that pop into one of these. And that's sections of stairs, so if I wanted a few of these stairs to be broken, or again we were talking about rugs, so if I wanted a red carpet to go part way up but then be torn, I could do all sorts of things. Granted, I don't think most of those things seem quite as important to me, at least, as having interesting paths through the forest, and I guess the plains and hills and things like that too. So yeah, modular outdoor tiles. You've seen it here first, and I sort of doubt you're going to see it anywhere else. So, you might stay tuned. There's a button down there for something like that. I don't really pay attention. So, until next time, you've been watching Raconteur Weekly on Rousseau Works, and I am Rousseau. Out.